This week I didn't have time to record an actual episode, so I'll just create this mini episode as I did once a few weeks ago when I didn't have time either. So I think it's a good tradition just to continue producing some episodes even when I don't really have time for a full-fledged full-time episode. So I just wanted to quickly cover what's happening in the US, and I don't know if you're interested in it or not. The reason why I'm following the elections in the US is very simple. I think that whatever happens in the US pretty much affects the rest of the world like a ripple. There's a ripple effect there, and we just kind of need to know what's happening there. And as I think as projected before, it was a turbulent event. It's still happening right now, and of course, things got really messy there. So, the point of this short video is just to kind of use this election as a showcase for what democracy actually is. And as you know, my position, I think the democracy is just a huge scam. It's no better than socialism, which leads to communism. It's just is a different version of this type of system wrapped in good feel box, right? So you don't really have any choice when you have democracy, right? Especially in the United States, whereas in some countries you can actually have quite a few candidates. In the United States, usually there's just two of them, and I understand that there were a couple of independent candidates as well, but no one paid attention to them. They were not advertised at all, and no one talked about them at all. So it's literally just a dual party system there. But I'm not going to talk about really how the system works in the United States. What I just want to mention is that I remember when I left Russia over 10 years ago. I left as a young kid who was quite, brainwashed, of course, and stupid. And I really thought that, such Russian propaganda messages, such as the rotting West, and the West is getting worse, and so I didn't believe them because I thought, well, of course it's Putin's propaganda just to to keep the population in Russia and not to pay attention to what's happening in the West, not to pay attention to their lifestyle. And when I left for Canada, of course, I wanted to savor the better life, savor the life overseas in the West, the way it was. And now 10 years later, I kind of started to realize that it is actually true, and that the West is rotting is a pretty good description of what's happening there. And I didn't really understand it before, but now I can see it quite clearly what is happening. And I described it in some of my episodes as well, so how and in my blog as well, so how the how the population is being demoralized, how population is being enslaved in various forms. That includes monetary slavery, the slavery of the mind, slavery of the soul, food slavery, all kinds of types of slavery. This total enslavement, essentially, and everything, of course, is done under the banners of democracy. But the reason why I'm following the United States elections is because the United States is supposed to be the bastion of democracy. As a matter of fact, they are so proud of it that they've been trying to and successfully exporting their democracy all over the world in some of the regimes, right? So essentially toppling regimes in foreign countries where there's no US people living at all, just for the sake of exporting their great democracy. And we can see how it's working out right now. It's a complete farce. The United States and other Western countries, European countries, have been accusing Russia and other countries in the region of faking the votes, faking the elections, and things like that to keep Putin in power, for example. But Well, let's see who's talking now. I mean, it's clear that these presidential elections are a complete farce and fabrication. Lots of illegal votes, lots of fake numbers, and it's. I think it's because the United States takes the first place in terms of the democratic procedures, right? Then you can kind of judge the way that the rest of the world, the rest of the democratic world works. If the United States is the model, and all the other democratic countries are modeled after the United States, then you can see where how things are pretty much in the rest of the world. So this is what I wanted to mention this time. So you can clearly see that democracy doesn't work. It never worked essentially, and if you know anything about the United States history and politics, and I'm not an expert, but one thing I know is that the United States was founded as a republic, and it was not supposed to be a universal suffrage democracy as it is right now. It was supposed to be a republic in which the essentially aristocratic class, but the not aristocratic in the bad sense of the world. It's more of in a good sense of the world. The true elites, the best of the best, rule or govern the country, right? So that's what it was supposed to be, and unfortunately, right now it's not the case. Obviously, if you give the right to vote to absolutely anybody, give it to your dog and to your horse, then you can. You can understand what kind of elections and results you will get, right? Give the right to vote to idiots, and you'll get idiots elected, essentially. So yeah, and so you shouldn't really be surprised with the outcomes of these elections. And as usual, we have to strive for something better, and this is why we want to build our citadels with a different form of governance, and we want to build back better, but really better. I think what we want to build a world of tens of thousands of citadels, tens of thousands of Liechtensteins and Singapores and Hong Kongs and Taiwans. I think this is something to strive for, and the time is coming, and I think the world stage is set for it, and we just need to act, and I hope it's gonna happen soon. That said, I'll see you next time.